I'm Jayson Jorgensen. It is time for another edition of HuskerChat, brought to you by Acres Equipment. We are joined by Sean Callahan, the publisher of Husker Online, as Nebraska has their home opener this week against Fordham. Sean, last week we talked before the Illinois game. We talked about what the Huskers needed to do to win. They certainly needed a victory. It didn't happen. As we look back at that one, what's your biggest takeaway from last Saturday?
Yeah, just too much of the same old, and that's been why Nebraska's in this spot right now. They've had too many self-inflicted unforced errors, whether it's turnovers, special teams decisions, missed tackles, penalties. Check them all off. I mean, they all showed up in Champaign, and Nebraska had control of that game, it felt like, especially at the Cam Taylor-Britt interception. Then that was overturned. But then when adversity happened, Nebraska just didn't respond. And give Illinois credit. They made some adjustments. They went at Nebraska's weaker areas on offense. They took advantage of that and found some stuff. And then defensively, they had Nebraska figured out as well. So Illinois came out, ready to go, and Nebraska didn't. And in the Big Ten, you're just not going to win consistently if you're not ready to go.
I guess the big question for Scott Frost is, how do you get this turned around? Because to me, the biggest disappointment on Saturday, one, they lost, but two, as you alluded to, it looked just like it has before, and that's almost just madness to see that happen again.
Yeah, the only thing you can do is take it 1 week at a time, and they just haven't had a lot of games to play bad and win. I mean, they've played all conference games. You go back even to 2019. Nebraska played 9 conference games. Last year they played 8. And then this year they've played another one. So you think about it like in that terms, they've played 18 straight games of Big Ten opponents now. So they haven't had, quote, very many just developmental games. They're playing a lot of teams that have head coaches that make $5 million or $4 million a year. And, when you play teams like that, you can't play bad and win. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And these next 2 weeks, that will be an opportunity for Nebraska to maybe get some things figured out and get some confidence and fix a couple things where when you're playing a league game like Nebraska's done now, 18 in a row, if you mess up, it's going to have huge impact in the overall game. And we've just seen that too often over the last 2 years.
Now, the loss certainly was a disappointment, but it wasn't all bad. I thought there were some times there in the first half the defense certainly looked improved. Unfortunately, coming back out after half when the Black Shirts needed to make a stand, they couldn't get it. But overall, what was your take on how the defense played on Saturday?
The defense looked physical. They came out with a sound plan. I liked how they got to the quarterback with 4. We just haven't seen that a lot with Nebraska, where they've had a blitz. Darius Payne and Ty Robinson and a number of guys been stilly up front, did what they needed to do, and they got to the quarterback, kind of forced Illinois to stop putting their quarterbacks back in 5-set drops, and it was all quick game and three-step drops, and the pass rush was more of a non-factor in the second half, mainly because Illinois didn't need to throw. They had control of things, and they were running the ball effectively.
Well, this week, Nebraska with their home opener against Fordham. Maybe this game comes at the exact right time for Nebraska. If folks don't know, tell us a story about how this game actually ended up on the schedule, because originally Nebraska wasn't supposed to be playing this week.
Yeah, originally Nebraska was supposed to play in November against Southeast Louisiana. Southeast Louisiana is going to get $600,000. They're going to move that game down to another year. They got Fordham on a moment's notice to come on Labor Day. They had to cancel one of their games against a directional school in Connecticut to play in Lincoln for $500,000. And because of the trip to Ireland being canceled, Nebraska's like, you know what, we need to play a game on Labor Day weekend. So they put a game in Memorial Stadium, and they got it all figured out. Now, this is a team, Jayson, that probably draws about what UNK would draw. I mean, their normal size crowd is probably 4,000 fans. A big crowd there is maybe 6,000 or 7,000 fans. So it's a step down in competition for sure. They are scholarship in the Patriot League. They've gone to scholarships there, so it's not a Ivy League or they're non-scholarship. But no doubt a game that Nebraska should be able to take advantage of and handle them pretty easily.
To me, this seems like one of those games. This is more about Nebraska than it is about Fordham. The Huskers have to find a way to iron out all of those mistakes.
And get a lot of guys playing time. There just haven't been opportunities to play very many guys. And just some of those things, Jayson, if they can play a lot of guys Saturday, that increases morale when more guys get on the field and just the opportunity to get out there. So you just hope that they can really get something out of this game for a lot of different reasons.
All right, well, we'll see how it goes on Saturday. Coach Frost, that entire program, they need a victory. Hopefully they get it done against Fordham. Sean, as always, we appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Jayson.
And that was Sean Callahan, the publisher of Husker Online, joining us for our Husker Chat. We will come your way every week, and it's brought to you by Acres Equipment. I'm Jayson Jorgensen.